Dr. Sam Turner of the Lighthouse Archaeological Maritime Program, or LAMP, believes that real treasures are locked in the ocean floor off Florida's northeast coast.
Treasure is really what's locked into the concretions. For me, it's about the objects in the ship, and actually the ship itself, the hull, and the architecture that went into that hull.
Dr. Turner, logistical coordinator Brendan Burke, archaeologists, and a team of volunteer interns worked in and offshore this summer doing research for LAMP.
As the weather eased in late June and early July, we did get more and more offshore, and actually had, considering the amount of weather that we had and the amount of days we had to stay inshore, we had a very productive season.
The team returned to an 18th century storm wreck where they unearthed 3 muskets from a site where they previously discovered concretions of cauldrons, coins, and multiple cannons.
That sort of thing. We have a pretty good idea that it's an American colonial vessel, possibly British built, but carrying American loyalist colonials out of Charleston, South Carolina.
Of the many exciting discoveries, Burke was thrilled with finding the ship's bell.
It's the only instrument we can think of you can put in the Atlantic for 2 centuries, bring it out, and as long as it's roughly intact, it's still going to make the same sound it did when it went into the ocean way back. A sound that hasn't been heard since the American Revolution, and would have last made a sound when the ship was wrecking. So that's.
When the team erects these artifacts, they're covered with hard shell concretions.
So after a couple hundred years, you get this thing that looks like a rock, but inside of it are a number of objects.
The scientists and their conservator, Star Cox, leave the objects underwater until they can be exposed to a process called electrolysis, which slowly removes the outer shell from the concretion so that the objects don't rust. What concerns Dr. Turner are the treasure hunters, who are less interested in the artifacts and more keen to the loot.
They dig it up and pretty much destroy it, looking for those high-value items without really giving due regard to the archaeology of the site and the objects on the site and the relationship between the objects on the site that tell the story.
On the horizon for LAMP is an adventure south to discover the lost French fleet of Jean Ribault. Archaeologists suspect it's somewhere off the coast between St. Augustine and Cape Canaveral.
And so that's the fleet that we're looking for, because it had to do with one of the, well, the main events of the founding of St. Augustine.
We hope that the funding will come through for that, and that's something that we'll be working as a partner, one of several partners with the state of Florida on should the funding go through.
Kelsey Schmalfuss reporting for WFCF News.